Now this is how you get people excited for the new Superman film. And now I want to talk about it. Hey there, this is your Matt Doodle with my Thomas Hands, Doodle right here with another video. And today I'll talk about this new Superman 5-minute promo and how it put all my worries to rest, which is very exciting and surprising because when this movie was first announced, I was honestly very, very excited because it's a new Superman. We haven't had a Superman since the time Henry Cavill was Superman. And I have said multiple times how I'm not really a fan of that version. You can crucify me all you want, but he wasn't the Superman. And when I was hearing what this movie was going to be, it was going to be a very hopeful Superman. That got me so excited. But there was obviously some stuff that I was very worried about, like the costume. It took me very long to actually get comfortable with it, but now I'm in this, like, I like it in certain shots, but sometimes I don't like it. It's probably just because of how baggy it is, but that may actually be the point. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I had to get through the costume, and then they were telling us who was being casted, and they said they were going to have Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Hawkgirl, and Green Lantern. And I was like, maybe that's a bit too much, too many people to add to a Superman film. And I know this was supposed to be a Superman that's been around for a while, and it's supposed to be a DC universe that's already lived in, but it felt a little too much for just a Superman film. And when the trailer came out, it got me very hyped for the film. I'm glad that they made it very bright and colorful, but again, I was very worried because of the people. The reason why is because it goes into something James Gunn is very comfortable with, is ensemble film of characters, like a group. And Superman's, a one-man superhero. Yes, he has other people there, but they're not all together, if that makes sense. I made an entire video on that if you want to go watch it. But this specific promo does squash any worry I have because it feels very Superman. And the reason I say that is because we literally go back to the beginning of the Superman trailer where Superman's laying on the ground, very hurt, very painful in the Yamcha pose. And it does show how Krypto does save him. But there's an in-between that we didn't see in the trailer of him basically hurting Clark, just trying to play with him, just trying to be a dog. And it was so cute. It was so painful too. That's the thing I should say I do like about James Gunn's style. He is able to mix so many type of feelings at the same time. When we see Clark on the floor, we were like, oh no, what happened to him? Who hurt him that badly? Who hurt Superman? But then on the other hand, we see Krypto and it's like, oh my god, a cute dog. And then we also see Krypto looking on Clark being so happy, and we're like, oh my god, he's such a cute dog. And then he just starts hitting Clark while Clark is already down and really hurt. You can see the blood on him. Stop. And it's weirdly funny and brutal because Krypto is like a dog that isn't house trained, if that makes sense. And they are both super powered. Like, Krypto is very strong. He is also from Krypton. So it does look very funny, sad, happy, and painful at the same time, which is something I was very surprised with. I thought they were just gonna go into the goofy with this scene. But no, they took it seriously while also having fun with it. And the music just enhances it all, especially when we finally get to see what this version of the Fortress of Solitude looks like. It looks awesome. It looks like a mix of the original 1970s Superman's version of the fortress, mixed with it looking more like an actual structure besides the crystals, like the ones in the comics. And the reason why I like this so much is because it is mixing a lot of versions of the fortress like we used to know. Sometimes it is just a crystal fortress. Other times it is like a ship that just isn't in the Antarctic, right? Kind of like the ones in Man of Steel. The reason I like this is because it's a mixture of that. And it looks so nice because we also have the fortress just rise up so amazing like. And then we see that Krypto also basically has a password to the fortress itself, which I find funny. And it's ridiculous, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. It works right here. Oh, and you know how I was saying this was kind of, goofy and kind of silly, but, you can kind of believe it? They finally have the Superman robots that we've seen in the comics. And yes, I know they have had robots in the fortress beforehand. The reason I like this so much is because it's going to expose more people to the wackier side of Superman while keeping it kind of homey with the fact that they have Krypto here and the fact that Superman is still very kind here because when he is being dragged by these robots, he's obviously very nice to them. And even one of the robots is basically saying, hey, you don't need to do that. We don't feel anything, so we won't comprehend that. But I love that they kind of make fun of that with the other robot basically being happy that Superman thanked the robot. And I love that so much.
Thank you.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever, merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
And it feels very joyous, like you are engrossed into this world already. Again, this thing is only 5 minutes. The fact that they were able to do that in that short amount of time is so cool. And one thing I also really like is how they portray him getting his solar energy. Something I was not expecting is like, how are they going to help Superman get better? But then you remember, Superman needs sunlight to get powers, but he can't go all the way up there. So they have this giant, very sci-fi looking glass for him to absorb the sun. But one thing I also found interesting was the fact that it was hurting him originally. I was like, what kind of beast beat up Superman so badly that his bones probably have to reconstruct themselves? I'm pretty sure it's the guy in all black that we have seen in the trailers and in set photos, who people are saying is a Ultraman or just Bizarro. I think it's kind of a mix. Besides that, like, it's so cool seeing that, Superman gets his powers back, but it's so hard to listen to him scream and him in pain trying to get his powers back. You're like, woohoo, he's getting his powers back. Oh, no, that's not good. And that's what I mean when I'm saying that you can have all these emotions and feelings all in one, and it doesn't feel silly or stupid. We literally had Krypto messing with Clark before he even decided to take him to the fortress, and then we saw little robots tending to Superman, trying to be very robotic, while another one is happy that Superman greeted it or smiled at it. And it should feel silly. It should feel dumb. But I like that it doesn't. You get drawn into this world like nothing, and I love that. Now that we got a closer look at Superman, getting healed up, we got to see him in his full costume. That made me want to talk about it because how I was saying that maybe the bagginess is too much, but I feel like now this is the point. You know why I say that? Because it reminds me of how in a lot of art of Superman, especially if they're trying to portray it as actually just being spandex, in actual spandex, you don't see the defined nature of muscles. And I feel like this emphasized it so well. Yes, I know this costume is not actual just spandex, but it does do the same function. And I think that works because this Superman is humble. He does not care about his huge strength. He probably did this on purpose, so he just looks very casual, if that makes sense. He is still huge. If you look at how he's laying on there, his body is big. So even without the defined nature, you can tell how strong he is. And I love that so much. And maybe that's why I got used to the costume itself, because it works. The texture on it looks so good too. The fact that we got a really close look is nice. And that's the end of the new stuff we saw from Superman. Stuff after this is really just the stuff we already saw in the Superman trailer. All the super goodness we got there. And I don't want to retread that. I do have a video on my thoughts on that trailer. If you want to see it, I have it right up here. But that's my thoughts on this 5-minute promo. I know it's a little scattered, but it's because I had so many thoughts on it, if I didn't want to say it or I did want to say it, and how I should say it, because I just love this so much. It makes me want to watch it even more. Again, I was very worried, but with this, now I'm like, all right, now I just gotta see what James Gunn has up his sleeve with this film. and I am going to leave it all to him. Now I got questions for you. What did you think about this 5-minute promo? Did you like it? Did you like how hopeful Superman was? Or are you one of the people who do not like the fact that Superman is being really hopeful? That is something I personally do not like. I don't like that people think that Superman should not be bright and colorful. Superman should always be that, even in times when he's injured, as we saw in this promo. Because again, this was a very bright Superman in a very dangerous situation, being joked on with a dog and some robots. And for me, I took it seriously. But again, what about you? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Please let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. But if that's it, this has been Doomite. I hope everyone stays nerdy, and I hope to see everyone in the next video. Bye!